my, isn't that nice? He's so tired though. But that's okay. We use that to our advantage. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not the same kind of tired he would experience being run around in here, which is predominantly the choice, the tactic or strategy most people use when it comes to desensitizing. They just flood this poor horse. The horse cannot escape from it. There's no approach and retreat or nothing. There's nothing positive. And I end up getting those horses that they end up coming to me for rehabilitation because it's gone wrong. And the horse at that point doesn't get any better, or you break their spirit and they learn to tolerate it but never accept it. And then someday the owner and the horse come in contact with the bag and the horse flips out and the owner gets sent to the emergency room and the horse gets sent to me. And I'm like, okay, this horse has obviously had no experience handling scary things. And that's what we're teaching Baby Blue right now, is not to panic and to trust me. And that this is not going to go away. And the more you fight it, it's just going to stay there. And the more you accept it, it's going to get easier. And it's just natural for him, you guys. It's just natural. He just needs a lot of experience with this. It'll go away. He's getting better already. Oh, the poor guy. He's exhausted. Oh, now he's got it caught in his legs. And that was better. And he faced me. So this is, you see the small changes, positive changes. He didn't try and run. He's still rearing and striking, but he didn't try and run away and pull me. He actually faced me. And I know he's getting tired, which is good. We're going to use that to our advantage. The other black horse in the back, outside the round pen, behind Smokey and Legend, is my student Janine's horse, who is not a spooky horse, but see how her ears are forward and she's watching. But she feeds off the other horses. Here we go. She can act like a lunatic sometimes, and she's not a spooky horse, but she just sometimes forgets her person and where she is and her mind and reacts. And so it's really good for her to be with the boys. They're going to influence her right now. He's smart. He likes to play relaxed, hoping that either you'll stop or not hold on to that rope. And then he's like, I got another fight in me. Can I get away from it? So that's why I just keep passively persisting in the proper position. I'm like, you know what? It's not going anywhere till you completely surrender and give to this and figure out that it's not going to hurt you. So here we go. I'm like, there we go. Yeah. So you'll know that he's okay with this when you see him, obviously not as reactive. But another key thing is when I can work him with this object, and that would mean that he's thinking. I can get him to move away from it without pulling me and spazzing out and kicking and fighting and attacking it. least he's starting to look at it, you guys. Remember what I said? And that was better. Lots of little changes. Instead of canting an eye, he's trying to look at it with both eyes. It takes a lot of trust. Give him a little break. And so this is the other side. Yep, I'm working with both sides. It's interesting. Legend, my little Arab was never afraid of stuff like this. Smokey was. And Smokey was a bolter, so I always had a 30-foot line on him because he'd just run sideways and there was no holding on or keeping up with him. Smokey was really damaged. Good, we got some licks and chews. Yeah, we still want to kill it. Poor guy. Oh my gosh. He's got a lot of it in him, you guys. It's crazy, believe me. I didn't feel sore after this episode, but it hit me like the next day. I forget, the day after or 2 days after. It didn't last very long. You know, I tried my best to go with this, him pulling me and not pull back on him too much, but seize the opportunity to pull him around. Yep. And of course, I'm talking to him the whole time, telling him, good boy. He's getting a little bit better. A little bit. Oh my gosh. I'm sure he was sore. Holy cow. But again, sometimes I just have to work through it. It's like, you know, your kid has to have a tantrum sometimes or a meltdown because they have to figure it out. They got to work through it. They got to express themselves. You can't punish them. I mean, you don't want it to happen all the time. You don't want them to learn that that's the way they handle things. Everything's a learning, you know, opportunity for us too. And that's better. You see Lovey and Sundance did really well with that. So I wouldn't want this to keep happening. You know, that's the key here is, do we keep making progress? Maybe when we come back the next day, he might be a little reactive, which he has been at first, but that he settles, that it's much quicker, much easier for him to settle and feel okay with all of this. But the working through, you can't prevent it. You gotta let it happen, but you gotta be there with him. You can't just run him around until he's exhausted like so many people do. Well, that's pretty good. Lovey's getting a lot more comfortable and bold. I like it. Aw, such a sweet little baby. He is such a sweet boy. That's better. You never know what you're going to get, you guys, unless you know the mom and dad, the sire and the dam, and you never know what the temperament is going to be. Like I said, unless you know the mother and father. And this is just who he is right now, and how he's hardwired instinctively, which is really smart. He'd be the horse that would not get eaten very easily or quickly in the wild. He's got a beautiful mind, a beautiful temperament, beautiful athleticism, and that's his self-preservation mode. And it just takes time and knowing what to do, you guys. You just have to just take a deep breath and be patient and loving, and you got to know what to do, because you could ruin this. If you don't do it right, you could really ruin this young horse, and you'd make him more scared. That's what happened to Sundance. Is after that incident where the white bag attached itself to her, I was a student and learning. I didn't have this business yet. I was developing myself in my approach. And I took Sundance to a top clinician, international name, and a desensitizing clinic. And we left. And that ruined her. That absolutely ruined her. So that her response to the bag and her fear of the bag after that accident that she had was way beyond my scope of understanding or expertise or experience. And so I did the right thing. I researched and went to one of the best, only to find that it was horrific. I mean, we left halfway through the clinic and just yanked and brought Smokey too. Smokey wasn't that bad. I had done enough with him where I was doing something right. But every horse is different. And the things that worked for Smokey would not work for Sundance. So I took both of them to a clinic, and this guy, he just wanted to sack her out. And he just came after her with so much aggression. And, she was rearing. You think, she's 4 years old, and I'm riding her. And you think, this guy's a lot to handle. You've just seen Sundance back then. Leaps and airs. She's so athletic. Bucking, rearing, running into the rest of the students on the ground with their horses. And he was stupid enough to keep going after her. And I'm, at that point, I'm like, excuse me, and, everybody's getting hurt. What are you doing? And he got really, I'm going to give him a break now. The clinician got upset with me. Like, how dare I interrupt the class and yada, 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 call him on it. And he didn't have an explanation except that he knew what he was doing was the right thing. So he said, and I'm like, how's it right? It's escalating. Well, there you go. Look at him becoming curious with the bag, guys. And making Smokey escalate and other horses escalate and people getting hurt. So yeah, I yanked us out of there. And it was horrible because I was on my own after that. I didn't trust anybody. Yep, so that's where we are today. So giving the babes a break. And I think I'm hooking Lovey up. Yep. And Sundance is much more relaxed. She's got a good look on her face. Good. She's not 100%. You guys know it. But see, now I'm going to do what I wanted to do with Blue. So the first technique is always, can I lead and have the horse follow me in the bag around? I try to be the least linear and assertive and the easiest. How does the horse do? So we're giving the baby a break. Sundance is like, I love you, Mom, but I am not okay with this bag. but I'm better, but I'm not okay. So look at poor Lovey. Oh my gosh. And when you raise it above Lovey's head, forget it. We have a short desensitizing series with Lovey and the tarp, and Zor and Sundance helping us. And that went over quickly and well. But the bag, I think I introduced the white bag very briefly in that series because I knew that, this is years ago, a couple years ago, that it was just too much. This horse is way too big and strong, and she will pull me all over here. You cannot handle it, you guys. How many of you can do what I just did online? Handle that without getting dragged and run over and hurt. And if I turn, the baby loose or Lovey loose, it's a disaster. They're going to run right through that round pen, try to jump it. You can't take that chance. So you have to put them online so you can help to navigate and control the situation. And being in a round pen gives you some kind of structure, a small space so they can't pull you across a pasture, but that they can try and get away. They have to feel that they can get away a little bit. So Lovey's doing better. You guys, in the other videos in this series, you see Lovey doing a lot worse. But like I said, this is, I think, the second or third with the three of them. And she's not as reactive. And you notice the baby's walking around. So I'm going to deal with that in a little bit. So as I always say, busy feet are a busy mind. Busy mouth can be a busy mind. So he's walking off a lot of that intense adrenaline. And I don't want him to learn that that's the way to handle things. I'd like the young horse to be able to stand quietly, like with Sundance. So you'll see how I address that. And Lovey's trying. Hey, she's not pulling me all over the place. So see how slow I am with her and quiet? I'm a lot different with her. I'm matching her energy. When they're crazy like that, they're not going to think, you guys, no matter what. It's impossible. They're on total self-preservation mode. And so if you back off and back down, you're going to teach them a lot of the wrong stuff. And a lot of these guys are going to learn that the bigger I get and the more intimidating I get and the stronger I am, you don't have a chance. And you're going to back down. It's going to scare my person. My person's not strong enough. I can learn how to pull away from them. That's why we're in the round pen. I don't want him to learn to pull away. It's one of the worst things a horse can ever learn, is to pull away from you and out of your hands.